Okay, mathematicians, welcome back. So today we're going to have another dot talk, and hopefully after this video, in combination with our last lesson, our understanding of writing number sentences with multiplication symbols will deepen, and we'll just be able to not just write a multiplication number sentence because, okay, scratch that. Okay, mathematicians, welcome back. So today we're going to do another dot talk, and hopefully after this number sense routine in combination with the last video, our understanding of writing number sentences with the multiplication symbol is going to get a lot better, and so we will be able to do it more independently and with greater understanding. Because from what I know, the first time we introduced it in class, we might have just told you about it, and so some of you were kind of approximating it and not really understanding what you were doing. So hopefully, again, with the explanation that we had in our last video and this exercise, we'll be just more comfortable with it. Okay, so let's get to it. So we're going to look at our first dot image, and when we do a dot talk, and actually when we do any of these number sense routines, it is a lot better if you have a turn and talk buddy. So if you have a family member who's available who wants to join in on this exercise, let them know that they're welcome to. Are you ready? Okay, so like always, I'm going to show you the first image really quickly, and as you're looking at it, think to yourself, what do you see and how do you see it? Ready? 3, 2. Do you have that in your head? Do you think you have a number in your head? Are you ready to look at it for a little bit longer? Okay. Okay, I hope you all remember to not shout out. That's something we were working on really diligently in first grade, to make sure we don't shout out our thinking and kind of interrupt someone else's thinking. So right now, if you have someone there who's working with you, turn and talk and tell them what number did you think you saw the first time we glanced at it, and then how did your thinking change or perhaps stay the same the second time we looked at it. Okay, I'll give you a few more seconds. Okay, so now we're going to look at it a little bit longer, and so you'll be able to confirm with your turn and talk partner how many did you see and how maybe you saw it. You might not come to an agreement as to how you saw it, but that's okay. It is just as important to discuss how you see things and notice the differences in your thinking. Ready? Okay, turn and talk. Remember, how many did you see? Check your thinking. And how did you see it? Don't forget to tell your partner how you saw it. Okay, let's come together. So how many did we see? How much was it? 5. Amazing work, mathematicians. I'm betting that a lot of you actually saw maybe this number sentence where you saw 5 and you saw it as 4 and 1. That's how I saw it. But I'm also realizing that there are other ways to see this too. Some of you might have said you saw 5 by seeing one group of 2 here, another group of 2, and then a 1. So then we would write 5 is the same as 2 and 2 and 1 more. Did you see that, mathematicians? Okay, are you ready for the next one? I'm going to show it to you, and don't forget, don't shout out, keep that number in your head. It's going to be a very quick glance, and then I'm going to cover it up. Don't shout out. Do you think you saw something? Did you see maybe less than 5? Did you see more than 5? Are you ready to double check your thinking? Okay, ready? It's going to be a little bit longer. Don't forget. Don't shout out. I'm going to give you time after we look at it to turn and talk with your partner. Ready? Okay. Turn and talk and tell your partner, remember? Okay, a few more seconds. Okay, hopefully you remember to turn and talk and tell them how many you saw and how you saw it. Are you ready to confirm your thinking? So let's see. Remember, as we look at it a little bit longer, we're going to think, how many do we see and how do we see it? So how many did we see, mathematicians? How many did you see? That's right, we saw 4, 4, one more. That would be how many? 9. Amazing job, mathematicians. So, in this one, I'm wondering how you might write the number sentence for this. It really all depends on how you saw it. If you saw 9 as maybe a group of 4 and 4, and then one more, your number sentence might look like this. But if you saw it another way, then you would represent your thinking the way that you saw it. So maybe one of you or some of you might have seen it this way, very similar to how we wrote this one up here. You might have seen 2, 2, 2, 2, and 1. Barely squeeze that in. Or some of you might actually have seen the same number sentence but in a different way. Instead of seeing it like this, you might have seen it up and down. 2, 2, 2, 2, and 1. There are different ways that we can see things and they're all amazing. It's just really important for us as mathematicians to represent on paper how we see things. We can do that with all the strategies that we've been learning this year from each other, and we can also do that by writing number sentences to represent our thinking. Okay. Are you ready for the last one? Remember, it's a very quick glance the first time, and then the second time we'll look at it a little bit longer, and then on the last one we'll confirm our thinking. Ready? That was really, really fast, especially with all those dots I showed you. So take a moment to really think, how many did you see? You might have to make an estimation as to how many you saw. Think, did you see more than 5? Maybe less than 10? Possibly more than 10? Just think to yourself first. Okay, are you ready to take a longer sneak peek? Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Actually, I'll give you one more second. 1. Awesome. So before you turn and talk to your partner, remember, when you turn and talk, especially when we're discussing our thinking with each other, don't forget to ask each other, hey, how many did you see? Wait for their answer. And then have your partner ask you the same question. Don't just have one partner do all the talking. Really engage in conversation to think about what you saw. Okay, ready? Last one is a longer sneak peek. I'm actually going to cover it up because I want you to really talk to your partner about what you saw and not just rely on the image to count it again, because I know that's something that I saw in class when we did this number routine, or on the last sneak peek when I just left it up. A lot of you went back to count, and I really encourage you to do that in class, but I also really want us to focus on this last image on our conversations with the partner that we hopefully have at home right now. Okay, ready? So I'm going to give you a little bit longer of time to have those conversations. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Ready? Okay, let's come together. Okay. So let's count the last group of dots together. Ready? Let's see how many we see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I definitely see 4. 5, 5. I know 5 and 5 make 10, so 14. 14 and one more. Wait, that should be how many, mathematicians? That's right, 15. And if you remember, most of these answers are similar to what we did yesterday. But the way we wrote the number sentences for most of them is different. Like for this one, we're not going to write the same number sentences as this because it's not going to match. We have to really think about how we saw it and write a number sentence that matches that thinking. So like for me, you remember how I counted it? I said I saw 15 as a group of 4 and then a group of 5, actually 2 groups of 5, see that? And then I added one more to that. I probably could have also written it like this. I could have written 4 plus 10 because I did know my number fact of 5 and 5 make 10. I did say that when I was going over how I saw it. And then I added the one more. So that's how I saw it. But I'm thinking some of you might have come up with some creative ways as to how you saw it. Maybe some of you saw 15 as 6 up here. Then another group of 6. You see that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then maybe a group of 3. Right there. 1, 2, 3. Maybe some of you came up with something creative like that. Now, before we end our number sense routine today, I really want to focus on why it is that for most of these number sentences, we're not going to be using the time symbol. Just like how we said yesterday, we use the symbol when we're adding the same numbers again and again and again. Remember, the same numbers again and again and again, multiple times. That's why when we see this symbol, a lot of mathematicians read it as times when they read a number sentence with this symbol in it. If we look at the first group of dots, are we adding any of the same numbers again and again? Did any of you say maybe? Well, perhaps. It depends on the number sentence you wrote. Like for this one, the first one that most of you, I'm thinking, used to represent your thinking for how you saw it. We don't see any of the same numbers being added again and again. No same number is being added multiple times with the first number sentence. If we look over here with this group of dots that we see right here, with these group of dots, let's look at the first number sentence. Well, hold on. Maybe we do see the same 2 numbers being added 2 times, so we might be able to use this symbol in there. But it's not being added again and again and again throughout the number sentence. We have to make that important distinction. We do not see the 4 being added 3 times again and again. We don't see 4 plus 4 plus 4. We see 4 plus 4 plus 1. So if we were to write that number sentence, let's see, we would write 9 is the same as 4, and we see that 4 being added 2 times, and then we see a 1. Did you see how I did that? I saw which of the numbers in the number sentence I had were being added together multiple times, the same number, and that's what I used to create this number sentence. I saw 9 as 4 groups of 2 being added 2 times together, and then a 1 being added to that. That might be a little bit tricky to understand, but just rewatch this part again and you hopefully will get it. So let's look at the next number. Well, the first number sentence in the next group of dots. Ready? Right here at the bottom, we see, well, I saw initially, and I'm thinking some of you might have seen it this way too. We saw 4, and I'm going to actually highlight that right here at the bottom. It might be easier for us to understand if we make it bigger. Okay, ready? So let's see. Now, do we see any of the same numbers being added multiple times? Do you see which numbers are being added multiple times? Which one is it? On the bottom one, it's the, which one? The 5. The 5 from right there is being added 2 times together. So when I write this number sentence, I have to remember that I saw this 5 being added 2 times together. So I could write my number sentence by using this times symbol, but I have to remember this. I have to remember this important noticing in order to be using this symbol correctly. Ready? So let's see. I saw 15 as 4, and I did see that 5 being added 2 times together. So I saw a group of 5 being added 2 times together, and then I saw a 1 being added to that. Did you see how I did that, mathematicians? Is this getting a little bit easier to understand? I'm hoping, because I really want you to be using these symbols, but only if you understand how to do it. If it's still a little confusing, go ahead and use the symbols that we've been practicing all year, the addition and subtraction symbols. Because if you are really good at that, where you are confident in your ability to write number sentences with those symbols, then keep on doing it. If you want to practice trying to use some of these symbols, then go ahead and try it. And if you are using these symbols but without really much understanding, then go ahead and actually keep trying. It's always important to try, but I don't want you to use these symbols without understanding it. I really want you to try and make an effort as you're using them to understand what you're doing. So, thank you for working with me again today. I can't wait to work with you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.